Hey DIYers, this is George at Alarm Grid. Today we're going to be going over how to learn in a SiXPIR into the Lyric Controller. Now, this is going to be our SiXPIR that we're working with today, and the Lyric Controller is at the home screen right now. What we're going to go ahead and do is first we're going to go into programming to get this learned in. Now, the SiXPIR does not come with the battery installed. It's going to be using a regular CR123 lithium battery, just one, and let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, so first thing we want to do to just get everything prepped, there's a button at the top of the SiXPIR. All you need to do is press and hold. As you put your thumb at the bottom, you push up and the back snaps right off. Right now, there's one thing that I will want you to pay attention to when you're inserting the battery is going to be this little light right here next to the plus sign. It's going to be a green LED that will actually let you know the status of the SiXPIR while you're learning it in. So before we put the battery in, what I want to do first is go over how to batch enroll the SiXPIR. This is going to be the easiest way to get any 6 series device learned into your Lyric controller. So first thing we want to do is go to the Lyric programming screen. To do that, we start off at the primary screen where you see security, automation, video, and all the other options. You're going to want to hit security. After that, you're going to go to tools. Now, the default installer code is 4112 from Honeywell, but if you have changed it or if a previous company has changed it, you want to make sure that you have that. So first thing we're going to do is enter in again, go to tools, hit 4112, which is the default Honeywell installer code. Then we're going to hit program. Once you're in program, you're going to want to go to zones. Now, once you're in zones, the batch enroll is going to be off to the right-hand side on the blue taskbar right here. It's going to say 6 batch start. Once you hit start, that places your Lyric controller into an inclusion mode. So any 6 series device that they usually come with battery tabs, once you pull that battery tab, it'll automatically put the device into a pairing mode. So right now we have the Lyric in a pairing mode. Now we're going to go ahead and put the device in the pairing mode. So like I said, this green light on the SiXPIR, which is what I wanted you guys to pay close attention to, will let you know the status. Once you put in the battery, the green LED will fast blink. It'll come to a slow blink and then a steady green light. What's going to happen, once it's a steady green light, you're going to see on the Lyric controller that it has learned into the next available zone. Now, the Lyric controller, the first 2 zones are hardwired zones. So the next available zone that usually is available, if this is your first sensor learning in, is 3. If you already have sensors learned in, then the SiXPIR will learn into the next available zone. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and put the CR123 battery into the SiXPIR, which, remember, if you look at the green light, it should start fast blinking, and as soon as it's learned into the Lyric, it will come to a steady green light. So you're going to go ahead and place the battery in. Epa. All right. Starts the fast blinking. And it'll come to a steady green light once it's learned in. So it didn't come to a steady green light. Instead, it just gave us a confirming green light. But if you look at zone 3, the next available zone, it learned in as motion sensor. Now, if you click on that sensor, you can go ahead and hit edit. Once you hit edit, you can double check the serial number on the SiXPIR to the serial number that populated in the field to confirm that that's the correct one that learned in case there was any errors. Now, first thing you want to go ahead and do is give your sensor a zone description. So let's say I'm going to be placing this in my living room. You go ahead and start typing out living. It autofills it for you. You can go ahead and hit save. And then if you want to put the second one, description for room, save it. So now we have the zone description, living room. You'll see on the device type, it says motion sensor. It automatically learns in as it. And the response type, Right now, it automatically sets to interior follower. That means that it follows any entry delay or exit delay. So if you're arming the system to away and you're coming back home, if you open up that front door, this motion sensor will follow the front door's entry delay if you have it set up for an entry delay. If you do not set off any entry delay before walking in front of this motion and it is set to an interior follower, there is no entry delay that it's following, so it automatically gets tripped and it acts as a perimeter sensor, causing the alarm to go off right away, giving you no 30 to 60 seconds to enter and disarm the system. So make sure if you have a motion program to interior follower that you do program it to that you do have it set up to where you walk through an entry door first. Now, let's say a lot of people, what they do, they'll set it to an interior follower, but they'll also place it facing the front door. Now, the issue that this can cause is if you walk in through that front door and you set off that motion right away, there have been times where we've seen where the front door contact, the actual door sensor, does not get the signal to the panel fast enough or faster than the motion. Therefore, the panel sees the motion signal first, and if it's set to interior follower, you automatically set off the delay. A lot of people get confused because they're saying, hey, I walked in through the front door, there should be an entry delay. However, the motion signal got to the Lyric faster than the door signal. So if you do have the motion facing the front door, what you want to do is under the response type, just go ahead and switch it to interior with delay. That's going to give you that delay if it's facing the front door. That way you actually have time to open the front door and not have to worry about setting off an alarm. Another thing I want to go ahead and show you is going to be the chime. If you want chime enabled on the motion, you can go ahead and do that. You can actually change the sound of the chime. They have different ones. Just by tapping on it, you'll scroll through all of them. We'll just go ahead and put it as evolve for now. Supervision, you always want to make sure is on. Arm nights. Arm night is a different feature that most Honeywell systems offer you. So what this is, if whenever you arm stay, all of your door and window sensors are activated, but your motions are not activated during an arm stay. The reason for that is because the system knows you're home. You don't want to set off the alarm if you're at the house. Now, what Arm Night allows you to do is if you enable this motion for Arm Night, this is going to bring up a separate arming feature when you go to arm your system. It'll be Arm Away, Arm Stay, or Arm Night. It's virtually going to be the same thing as an Arm Stay, except now it'll be an Arm Stay with certain motions activated. So let's say you have 2 floors in the house and you want, let's say, the garage motion activated but every other motion deactivated. You would put the garage motion to an Arm Night, and all of the other motions, just leave them as is. Don't worry about the Arm Night feature. The only one you would have Arm Night enabled on would be the garage, and that way the garage stays protected with that motion whenever you do an arm stay. Now, a lot of people miss this step as well. If you hit the down arrow key one time, it'll bring you to a pet immunity on this page. We're not going to worry about the supervision time. The pet immunity, this is if you have pets under 80 pounds or up to 80 pounds, right? So what this does is it gets the passive infrared motion, and there's 2 zones in the motion. There's going to be a top zone and a bottom zone. If you enable pet immune, if you enable pet immunity, what it does is that the 2 zones are going to go ahead and have to be tripped in order for the motion to send an alarm signal to the panel. So that means that a small dog, and that's under 80 pounds, would probably usually only set off the bottom half, not the top half. A human standing upright, they're going to set off both zones. Now this motion, you want to make sure when you're mounting it, you mount it 7 to 9 feet is the recommended mounting height by Honeywell. You obviously also, when mounting it, you don't want to mount it across a vent or an air duct, somewhere that releases a sudden change of temperature, because that will cause or trip some false alarms. Let's see what else with the motion. It has a range of 40 to 56 feet. We're actually going to show you how to go into walk test so you can actually check to see, you can walk around the house and make sure that it's detecting all of the zones that you want protected, right? Or every area in the house that you want protected. So after you've actually gone through every setting, everything you need to adjust, make sure you hit save. Once you hit save, it saves all of your work. Hit save. And you have your motion right there. Next thing you're going to want to do is hit the back arrow key all the way back out to the home screen. So that's going to be about 3 or 4 times. So the motion, to put it into walk test, we're going to go do the same thing. If you're already at the home, if you've backed out to the home screen, go ahead and hit security. You're going to go to tools, enter in the default installer code, which is 4112. It may be different if you've changed it. The walk test mode is in the test. Now, once you do hit test, you'll see here, walk test is the first option. This is going to put all your motions into a walk test mode where you can walk around the house, wave your hand, check to see if the motion is detecting your body, right? Once you do walk test, it puts the system into a walk test, and it says home to quit up at the very top. So usually it'll go to this screen, and what you can do is if you have the motion mounted already, you can go ahead and walk around, and as you're doing this, the motion should be picking you up, and it'll actually make the panel beep. Yeah? To exit out of walk home test, after you've done testing all your motions, all you need to do is press the home button. Now it's going to ask you for a code. The code that it's asking for this time is going to be the master code. The default master code for Honeywell panels is 1234. So you're going to enter in 1, 2, 3, 4. Puts it back to the home screen, ready to arm. The status has changed, and you're out of walk test mode. So remember, today we went over how to program in a SiXPIR to the Lyric Controller. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button underneath. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and enable notifications. That way, whenever we upload new content, you guys get notified. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to email us at support@alarmgrid.com. I'm George. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day.